Imagine falling in love with someone and then having to answer one terrifying question before building a future together. Are we actually related? This is the extraordinary story of Arthur and Audrey, a French couple whose love story became a journey into DNA, family secrets, and the right to know where you come from. Arthur was born with the help of an anonymous sperm donor. He grew up in a loving family, but he never knew his biological father's identity. For years, he would look at strangers in Paris and wonder if one of them could be his real father. He even imagined that his teacher or someone he regularly saw on the bus might be the man he was searching for. Living with that uncertainty was deeply frustrating for him. Then Arthur met Audrey. She had also been conceived through sperm donation, and she had studied law and specialized in bioethics. When they first met, they immediately felt a strong connection. Audrey described it as love at first sight. But there was a frightening possibility they could not ignore. Both had been conceived through anonymous sperm donation, so what if they were actually half-siblings? Finding the truth was extremely difficult. France had strict rules protecting donor anonymity, and home DNA testing was prohibited. Audrey knew the law well, and from around 2010 she began challenging the French system, arguing that donor-conceived people should have the right to know their biological origins and medical history. Her legal efforts ultimately failed, including a final appeal rejected in 2015. Eventually, Arthur and Audrey managed to obtain a genetic test, but they were not completely confident in the result. After years of uncertainty, they finally used an international DNA testing service. The answer was clear: they were not biologically related. Their greatest fear was gone. But the DNA test revealed something they never expected. Audrey discovered that Sophie, a woman she had actually represented in a legal case, was her biological half-sister. She also discovered that her brother Peter, Sophie and Sophie's brother David were all connected to the same sperm donor. For people who had grown up separately had unknowingly been biological siblings. Arthur's DNA results also changed his life. After nearly 30 years of wondering who his biological father was, DNA matches helped him identify and contact him around Christmas 2017. For Arthur, this was not about replacing the father who raised him. He simply wanted to know the man whose DNA was part of his story. Audrey eventually discovered that her biological father was named Philippe, but sadly, he had already died. His family nevertheless welcomed her. Her mother wrote to Philippe's relatives, thanking him for the gift that had brought Audrey into the world. When Audrey met his family, there were tears. She saw photographs and old videos of Philippe and learned about his family and medical history. For the first time, she could see and hear the man from whom half of her DNA came. Arthur and Audrey's story later became part of a wider campaign for the rights of people conceived through donor reproduction. Their efforts helped contribute to changes in French law, giving eligible donor-conceived adults greater access to information about their biological donors. Yet home DNA testing remains legally complicated in France. And that is what makes their story so remarkable. They met, fell in love, and then had to prove they were not related. The DNA test removed their greatest fear, but at the same time it uncovered biological siblings and helped reveal the identities of the fathers they had spent years searching for. The test they took because they feared they might be brother and sister ultimately proved they were strangers by blood, and gave them the freedom to continue their love story.